Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm just going to be showing some record finds from just things I've picked up recently. Not a collection today, but some pretty cool stuff. I went to go pick up this lot from Facebook Marketplace, and it had a bunch of pretty interesting stuff that like made me want to go. This is one of them, Black Sabbath Paranoid. This is a repress. It's like a 74. It's got some pretty nasty marks, but plays and sounds great, so always happy to pick that up. This is one that I did give a listen to. Thin Lizzy, Fighting. I believe this is the first record where they sort of got their sound. Like they had this like dual guitar thing going on, a little bit more commercial type rock. But this did come out on the Spaceship Vertigo label. So I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I don't really think it's for me. Kind of that classic rock sound. Of course, it's hard rock too, you know. It's Thin Lizzy. But yeah, this one's probably not gonna stick around in my collection. I'm very much looking for their earlier records, stuff that came out pre this era, but still a pretty cool one to find. This one is like the main reason why I wanted to go get this lot. The cover's in horrible shape, but the disc is pretty nice, but this was kind of a failure. I drove pretty far to pick up this lot, and specifically to get this record from it, and it's actually missing one of the discs. But this is a really trashed Led Zeppelin live on Blueberry Hill. Not the vinyl. The vinyl is actually really nice, but trash cover. And yeah, I got it, and then I was like, okay, I got the beginning and the end of the concert. It's an auto-coupled disc. I was like, that's probably okay. I put it on. It sounds like garbage. This is a horrible version of this record. It's this one is on this like Zeppelin label. That's all it says. Again, disc is nice. It's like a VG. I mean, nice considering. It's got lots of surface marks, but yeah, put it on. It sounds so bad. I was very disappointed. But you know, you live and you learn with these things. Definitely should have asked a few more questions. I kind of had a feeling that it wouldn't have the second disc. So that's a shame. But it's still probably worth picking up the lot. I mean, I got there and I found that this one didn't have the disc, and I still bought the lot. Got a couple cool things from antique stores on that trip, so can't be too sad. This one, I got this ages ago. There's stuff in here that I got a very long time ago. I've just been busy and haven't been able to put a video out on it. Frigid Pink, Defrosted. This is absolutely killer. It's heavier than their first record. They go out on the fuzz guitars and all that stuff. This is like proto-metal greatness. This is a fantastic record. And I believe it has the inner sleeve. Yeah, pretty sick. But yeah, I got this for pretty much free. I kind of just found it in a box in an antique store. It was unpriced, and I was like, hey, how much for this one? And one of the other ones I got in here was also in that little stack that I put up, and he was like, I got such a good deal on that box, you can just have them. So yeah, that's always great. I know the guy. I go in there all the time and buy records, so very much appreciate that. Pretty decent copy of Defrosted. Awesome. Especially to get it for like basically free. This is one I was out. I had to travel pretty far for this thing I was working on. But I managed to stop by a couple antique stores and a record store. The antique stores were horrible, but the record store was really cool. I don't remember what it's called right now. But this was in one of their bins, and it was very cheap. This is Frank Zappa Apostrophe. If you see that, it is a quadraphonic press. Undiscreet. It came out the same year the album came out, 74, I believe. Um, Fantastic. Really, really great. The title track, Apostrophe, holy moly, that song blew my mind. Um, Obviously, there's tons of weird stuff going on. It's Frank Zappa. Um, but yeah, Jack Bruce plays on this record. Ainsley Dunbar plays on this record. Crazy good lineup, and just listen to the track Apostrophe. It'll melt your brain. Incredible, incredible track. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure how to describe any of Frank Zappa's music, other than it sounds like Zappa. You know, it's kind of like this sort of fusiony type thing. But yeah, if you see the quadraphonic press, I recommend picking it up. It sounds phenomenal. Great. I have had not much luck with the recent quadraphonic albums I've been picking up. The only two that I've ever kept is this one and Black Sabbath Paranoid. The Paranoid sounds out of this world. Incredible pressing of that. And this one sounds great. So yeah, I'd probably keep this over a non-quad copy. This next one, I went back to the honey hole, as I've been calling it. I figured out that I should go like every 2 months for it to be restocked. So that's probably the rate I'll be going. But there's a couple cool ones from there, and this one was so cheap and just really cool. Vandergraaf Generator, the Quiet Zone slash something. Oh, the Pleasure Dome is side 2. And yeah, this is a first UK press on the Charisma label. This is after they had shortened their name to Vandergraaf. This might have been their last record or something like that. I don't remember. It came out in 1977. This is great. I was not expecting to like this as much as I did. Of course, it's a progressive rock record. But it's just got really good songs, and the instrumentation is all great, and just the pressing also. Oh my god, it sounds so good. This just has everything, you know? I really wasn't expecting to like this later period of Vandergraaf Generator. Sometimes the late 70s prog is kind of hit or miss, but this I really enjoyed. Super duper clean copy too, like really like near mint vinyl. Just shocked to find this there again, as I am with everything I find at this one antique store that I go to. But yeah, they go in sort of that fusiony a little bit direction. There's a lot of like jazz influence. If you know the band Gilgamesh, which is a very obscure reference to a thing, that's what it reminded me of. It's like this kind of fusiony, but really more of a prog record. You know, I don't know if I'm saying anything, but it's a great record. I really enjoyed it. This next one, I had no clue what this was, but I saw the cover and I was like, that looks pretty sick. It's got to be some private press thing, and it is, and it's pretty tough to come by. Perspectus with Friends. This is a local Pennsylvania group. I turned the cover around and saw that the songs are all covers. There's not a single original track on here, and I got a little bit scared. So I pulled up like the Discogs and went to the little listen thing. I was gonna give it a little play test before, because it said it was psychedelic rock, so I was like, maybe they're like drugged out covers, and they kind of are. They take these songs and they're just so long and drawn out. You know, The Letter, the box tops. You know, that song's like less than 2 minutes long. It's 9 minutes long here. With a little help from my friends, Beatles cover is 12 minutes long. You know, that was very promising to me. So I thought I would give it a shot, and you know, it was a really good deal. So I couldn't pass it up. Honestly, it's okay. I really do like a lot of the covers on here. You know, they're long, and they're pretty drawn out, as I said, but they're enjoyable, and there's some great guitar heaviness going on. Like they crank up the fuzz a little bit, which is nice, and I like the jammy type stuff. But some of the songs just go on forever. It's like, okay, we can move to the next one now. And he has a lot of like, he does like the spoken word like, power to the people type speeches in the middle of some of the songs. This was recorded live, by the way. This is like a live record of just one of their shows. And yeah, it's entirely covers. It's pretty cool. They're good covers. Like, they sound really good. If I saw this band in a bar, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty awesome. But they just are very long, and sometimes it's a little bit too long. This next one, I have to give a big shout out to Nigel Campag. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. I don't know. But I woke up one morning and I had a DM on Instagram from Nigel, and it was an eBay link, and it said, hey, this is like a really good deal. I would have totally bought it, but I'm in the UK and shipping would have been like $50 or whatever. So he just sent me the link, and I was like, that's so cool. Like, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for thinking of me. But this is one I didn't have yet, and it's a really, really rare record, so thank you. This is Of the People, by the People, for the people, from the common people. Yeah, came out on Capitol. This came from a non-record seller, so, of course, shipping and stuff was a little bit iffy. The packaging kind of not great. And there was just no description on the condition. It just said it was in good shape. And it's in great shape. It has really a couple hairline marks and some sleeve scuffs, but VG+, for sure. Really nice copy. The first 3 songs on this record are absolutely just incredible Psych tracks. Soon There'll Be Thunder, I Have Been Alone, Those Who Love. Oh my goodness, so deep, so good. They have these fantastic arrangements on them. And I was reading up on the record, and they were apparently arranged by David Axelrod, which is really cool. But then I went on to an interview with one of the band members, and they said David Axelrod never touched this record. It's just so fascinating, because the first 3 songs are so different than the rest. It's kind of this deep, arranged, psychedelic vibe, and then the rest of the songs are like almost garagey, if that makes sense. And honestly, not every track is a hit. Land of Day was absolutely killer, and Take From You. So the first 3 songs, Take From You, Land of Day, are really what I'm in it for. The rest were kind of just okay, in my opinion. But it really sounds like David Axelrod did the first 3 songs, because they're just so different. But apparently his wife got in a car accident, so like a really bad one. So he kind of just abandoned this project. He didn't have the time for it at that time. And he's thanked on the back of the record. Like, it says, thanks to David Axelrod. But it doesn't say that he did the arrangements. It doesn't really say who did the arrangements. It's kind of just how it is. But, I really wouldn't be surprised if David Axelrod actually did end up doing the arrangements on this, and the guy and the band member in the interview just didn't remember or didn't know for some reason that he did. You should go check out those first 3 songs. It's like mind-blowing, great Psych. But yeah, this is a very rare record, and I'm super, super happy that this turned out to be a great buy. Like, I got this for so cheap. So big thanks to Nigel. Go follow his Instagram. I'll link it below, and I'll put it up on the screen now. But thank you so much. Now we'll get into some funky and jazzy type records, if you will. Music of My Mind by Stevie Wonder. This is a super clean one, and this is the other one that he threw in for free from that antique store, so I cannot, like, I'm so happy about these. Great record, incredible. Superwoman, amazing track. Anything by Stevie Wonder, I will just love it. It's just always so good. This next one is what kind of redeemed my big adventure, getting the marketplace listing. I went into an antique store, wasn't finding much, wasn't even seeing very many records, but I don't know, I must have been like not paying attention because I made a loop and I was like, I found a couple things and I was like, oh, these are kind of cool. I got a copy of Rumors for like super cheap. But I walked back around and there was this huge, like 3 boxes full of records that I just missed. I don't know how I missed it, but I'm super glad I went back because I picked up this log. This is a promo copy, first US press in the shrink wrap. Pretty dang cool. Yeah, this is a disco record. Now you may be thinking, well, disco, that's not good. It's like a really funky disco record. It's got incredible bass playing. James Calloway plays the bass on this, phenomenal. But yeah, I got this for super cheap. Again, a really good deal. It's got some service marks, but it plays through amazingly. Yeah, I've only listened to this once so far. I really enjoyed it, but it's not really my thing entirely. It's like this really great, like funky grooves, very sort of repetitive music. It's definitely meant for dancing, but I think this has been sampled. I think that's one of the reasons why it fetches the price tag that it does. But yeah, to have a copy with the promo stamp. This is on Sal Soul, I think, Sal Soul Records, which is based in New York, I believe. But yeah, look out for stuff on this label because sometimes it's pretty valuable, and even the 12-inch singles, definitely ones to look out for. Now we're gonna move into sort of the more jazzy realm of things. We'll start off with this one. This isn't too much of like jazz, but John McLaughlin, Devotion. I believe this is his first record. It might be his second record. Very early on, came out on Douglas. This is actually a repress. I didn't realize that when I bought it. But this record, it goes for a bit more than all the other John McLaughlin records, like probably around $15, maybe around 20. So this was like $5. And I was like, well, shoot, gotta pick that up. But it's a repress, which I didn't realize, but whatever. It's not about that. The music is fantastic. This is an incredible record. It's a little bit more like heavy is the way I want to describe it, than the other John McLaughlin Mahavishnu Orchestra music. Like it's got this like grit to his tone, and yeah, if you don't know John McLaughlin, he is just one of the greatest guitar players that ever walk the face of the earth. He was just so good. It's like mind-blowing, mind-expanding music. All of his records, like, just blew my mind the first time I heard him. And this was no exception. Really, really great. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend picking one up if you find it, because it's just mind-blowing. And these last two are like really quite rare jazz records that are in phenomenal shape. This one I found at the antique store Honeywell, and the last one I found at Goodwill for $1. I get a boot out of you, I think. Yeah, I get a boot out of you. The Modern Touch of Marty Page. Now, anytime I see a album cover that's a little bit scandalous, I like to look it up because some of them are really, really desirable and really collectible stuff. And some of them are really good, like funk records. And I knew this was, early 50s or late 50s, early 60s. But yeah, this is a really clean first mono on Warner Brothers. And when I say really clean, it's unbelievable the condition this is in. Just so nice for, especially for like jazz records from this time. They're usually not in this condition. But yeah, this is a big band record. Now, if you know me, I'm not a huge fan of big band jazz. Big band always throws me off. When it says it's big band, I'm like, oh, I feel like that's a lot of people's reactions. But this is great. It's not so much like charts that are like rigid. They're very loose, and there's a lot of improv solos, and that's what I'm all about. And this type of big band, I love. They do It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing, Love for Sale's on here, Moanin', classic jazz tracks, but this is fantastic. Really, really recommend giving this one a listen. Great big band jazz. Like this is the pinnacle of that type of music. And here's the $1 Goodwill find. I went into this Goodwill, and it's a Goodwill that I've gotten records from before. Like, this is a good Goodwill for records, which is like, it's weird. You gotta kind of find your areas where they don't really care and they just put them out. So yeah, I bought like some classic rock from here before, but nothing like this. I walked in, I saw the worker put this bin of records down. But he was kind of standing in front of it, so I looked through the other records. I didn't really find anything, and then when he moved, I went to this. So I know I was the first person to look through this bin, and I saw what label this was on, and my jaw dropped. I was like, holy crap. This is Kino Duke and the Contemporaries, Sense of Values, Strata East, first press, in the shrink wrap, mint condition. It's just everything. Yeah, this was unreal. I was shocked, and I decided, I'll keep the sticker on there for some proof. 99 cents, if you can't see that. This is an incredible jazz record. Oh my god, it's so good. It airs on a little bit on the free side of jazz, but just a tiny bit, and just enough for it to be like, man, so good. Especially the first song opens up with this kind of everyone's chaotic type, just going at it. Then it settles in, and it's just like, oh, so good. I listened to this so many times, couldn't be happier with it. Obviously, this is definitely probably my third best find ever. I'd put it behind Funkadelic Maggot Brain and Easter Everywhere. But the thrill of finding one of these is always like, especially for $1, always love that feeling. Yeah, highly recommend giving this one a listen. It's never been repressed. I'm pretty sure the only copies you can get are the original and the promo version. But just to find a near mint Strata East jazz record, unbelievable. So happy. And yeah, a phenomenal one of that. That's an amazing record. That brings us to the end of this. I've been so busy and just haven't had time for making these and stuff. So this comes out a little late. I apologize, but what can you do? But yeah, super happy with these recent finds. I've been very excited to show them. I just haven't really had the time, and I wanted to listen to them a lot and kind of, get them before I started talking about them. But yeah, thanks for watching.